In this screencast, I'd like to go over a few details about measuring length. It's very important to choose your tool carefully. Here I have a selection of a tape, meter stick, several rulers, and a caliper. I like the clear ruler, but the background that you use it on is very important. It's very difficult to read on the black background, but if I hold it over a white piece of paper, the numbers are very clear and distinct, making it much easier to measure. Let's just give this some practice. Here I have a 10 ruble note from Russia. If I want to measure it, I'll lay the ruler on top of the bill, and I can clearly see that it's 15 centimeters long. Notice that I don't have the ruler at the end. I'm starting at the 0. We can try this again. Here's a 5 euro bill that I got when I was in Germany. Using a different ruler, place the ruler at the 0 point, and I can see that it's 11.8 centimeters long. Now let's take a look at using a caliper. A caliper is great for making precise, small measurements. A caliper has external jaws and internal jaws. We'll take a look at how to use both. One of the first things I do when I pick up the caliper is close the jaws and note where the 0 point is. When the jaws are closed, I need to see where the 0 line lines up. When I pick up the caliper, I double check the 0 and find that the caliper is very useful for measuring things like the diameter of a pipe. This is difficult with a ruler, but here I can see this pipe has a diameter of 4.4 centimeters. Let's try that again. This is a core catcher, a piece of geologic drilling equipment. I can use the caliper using the external jaws to measure the outside diameter. Simply clamping the jaws over the outside of the circle, I can see the diameter is 6.7 centimeters across. Now, I can also measure the inside of this pipe-like device by putting the internal jaws and spreading them apart. So I'll place the inside or internal jaws and spread them apart, and I can see it's 6.3 centimeters in diameter. There's one more tool that's part of many calipers. There's a depth gauge. You can see this point sticking out on the end sticks out exactly the same distance that the jaws are spread apart. So I can use this for measuring depth. Let's take this screwdriver handle. This screwdriver has a hole that can accept different bits. If I want to measure the depth of that hole, I can place the depth gauge down into the hole, adjust it properly, and then when I look over at the scale, I'll be able to read the depth of that hole, which in this case is 2.4 centimeters deep. Let's practice and measure one more thing. Here's something else I keep in my pocket. Let's grab a meter stick. And wow, this meter stick is pretty beat up. We can't start at the end because we can't see where the end is. But if we start closer to the center, say around 40 centimeters, I can line up the card by placing it on the meter stick, and I can see that it's 47, well no, actually with a little subtraction, 7.7 centimeters long. You never know when one of these will come in handy.